What's new on the OnePlus 5T? Look at this. It unlocks with my face. This is definitely new. One of the things we see when we take a OnePlus 5T is that the screen is definitely larger. Well, not actually larger, it would be longer, because in the same size of a OnePlus 5, we get an 18:9 aspect ratio screen. This display is longer and still AMOLED Full HD, but their crispy colors and the absolutely blacks are very good. As you see, there is no home button. So what do? We have these virtual buttons that we could choose to have as well and on the previous OnePlus, but there are no the capacitive side buttons. So this room is now occupied by the screen. What do we do then when we want to unlock our phone with our fingerprint? The fingerprint is here on the rear, so we can as well use it to unlock our phone. And it has a second use. If we do like this, you see, up and down, you know what effect we create? This one. We unroll the options shade, you see, down, up. The camera is new too. It's a bit more bumpy than the one we found on the OnePlus 5, but the main camera is 16 megapixel with an aperture of 1.7, and the secondary camera is a 20 megapixel camera that is here instead of the telephoto lens that we could find on the OnePlus 5. With this secondary camera, we achieve better photos on low light conditions. When the light conditions are lower than 10 lux, instead of the first camera, we use the secondary camera, which is the 20 megapixel. Why so many megapixel? Because the more pixels you have, then it will be easier for the secondary camera to take groups of 4 pixels and then merge them into 1 pixel. But this pixel is authentic, and then there's not that much grain, and then the pictures you take are clearer and with better definition. Let me show you a test I did taking pictures with the OnePlus 5T and comparing with the OnePlus 5. I took the same picture from the same place of the same scenario of sunrise. This one is with the OnePlus 5 and this other one is with the OnePlus 5T. Actually, you may not see much difference because the OnePlus 5 took extraordinary photos. Then I went to the opening of a new mall in Barcelona, and this mall had a big opening party with a gig of the too many DJs, internationally recognized DJs, and also a live show and a big performance. Here are a bit of the images I took. This is in full HD at 60 frames per second. As you've seen before, the advanced facial recognition works very well. They tell you it's not as safe as the fingerprint sensor unlocking, but in my case, it works very well. It works almost perfectly because not always recognizes my face, which is good. I mean, I think it's better that sometimes doesn't recognize you than recognize the neighbor or anyone that it's not you. So if it doesn't recognize you, it's good because on the second time it will. If it doesn't recognize you, you may use the fingerprint at this time, and the next time it will do. But it's very few times that this happens. Okay, most of the time it recognizes you and it unlocks very well, like this. See? And I don't want you to think I'm using the fingerprint sensor because I'm not. Okay, let me do it again. Here it is. I hope you see it. Let me try another thing. Okay? It still works. Let me try another thing. It still works. And even if I use a hat Is there a head around here? Okay, let me show you that I will cover my forefront. And let's try if it works now. Yes, it works again. Try again, okay? There are some times that you don't even see the lock screen because it's so fast that it unlocks. If you're looking at the screen, it will unlock your phone without passing through the lock screen, okay? Like this, look. You see? I hope you see it. It didn't show this previous screen, but instead it unlocks directly, which is like you don't have any safety measure, but there is. It is your face recognition, okay? Oh man, it's hot. One short thing about the battery is a 3300 milliampere. It's not much because there are some other smartphones that have a 4 ampere, but this one lasts me more than one day. I wake up at around 6:30 and it was at 100%. At 7:15 it only lost 1%, it was 99%. At 9 p.m. I watched a full streaming episode of Stranger Things second season, and at 1:30 p.m. it still was at 70%. Then at 4 p.m. 60%, at 7 p.m. it came down to 44%, at 10 p.m. 35%, and I went to sleep at 11 p.m. and then it was at 30%. So I can confirm that the battery lasts more than one day with a reasonably heavy use. So thumbs up again. In terms of features that stay the same, in terms of hardware, there are not many differences as the processor is the same, it's the Snapdragon 835. The amount of RAM memory is still the same, it's 6 or 8 gigabyte. The storage capacity is still the same, is 64 or 128 gigabyte. The Oxygen OS, which is mounted on Android 7.1, has been upgraded to Oxygen OS 4.7. Oxygen OS has several new features, but there is one that I love the most, which is this one that I will show you now. There are, you see, I have 2 Twitters, I have 2 WhatsApps, and I can do the same with Facebook, Instagram Messenger, Facebook Messenger, or Skype. This means that you can have some apps cloned into 2 instances of the same app, which is like you have it installed twice. As it is dual SIM, it has 2 SIMs in here. You can use WhatsApp with one line and another WhatsApp with the other line, and they both work the same, and they both notify you, and they both do whatever you want as if it was one. This is something that only Oxygen OS can do. And this is a video I made only using a OnePlus 5T. So if you want more references on how the OnePlus 5T records video, you may see this one and take a look, because it's taken in the evening and you will probably see how it records and how much grain and many other details you may want to see. And on my wish list for the next OnePlus, probably 6, there's still my personal claim of FM radio, which I'd love to have, and also it's still not waterproof. I mean, every time there are more and more smartphones which are waterproof and dustproof and XP67 or something, but this, it's still not waterproof, so it may resist some splashes, but you can't take underwater pictures of your children, for instance. And one last wish, which is the secondary camera in the front. So I could take portrait mode pictures of myself, or a selfie or whatever, because in this case I can only use this portrait mode, or I can only blur the background, which is, by the way, still good, with the rear camera. As you may see, this is still snappy at work. It works very well because the performance is still the same because, as I said before, internally the processor and the RAM memory are still the same. Well, if you like this video, please hit thumbs up and subscribe, and you will see more upcoming videos. Thank you very much.